What's up, studs? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. We are in a runaway market. Let's spend some time digging into the market indices, which they all look fantastic. You can go through to really any one. We're in a bull parade right now. And so let's spend some time digging into the indexes and where the heat is, and then dig into the watch list. But look, the Q's is about to bust loose. And you're right, really at the inflection point. Awesome day on Friday. Fridays tend to be runners. We may get some hoopla with this Iran, Venezuela stuff, but in general, it seems like the market doesn't care about that kind of stuff the last few years. The SPY is at all-time highs, too, coming out of a big multi-2-month consolidation. And the IWM actually has ripped through, and it feels like this one sticks. You know, we undercut in kind of this 245 zone has been like a big spot. Came into the 50, and we've broken out. And it feels like this one actually sticks this time. It's been like the dips have been getting bought in it. It's been just acting a lot better, and that's going to give it a lot more action. You know, beyond that, look, Europe is trending. The Dow is trending. You had a 5% move in home builders off this, MBS type of MBS news, and it looks like they're going to try to can Powell early. There was a PR out just now saying, they've opened a little criminal probe on him. Criminal probe, right? The poor old guy's about to, probably just get forced to resign. But if you look here, bots, everything is going. This is the RSP, the equal weighting. There is not a single thing that's not going. Even banks look hot, right? The only thing I would say that's a little bit kind of stuck in range is your Mag 7s, and that's actually a good thing. You don't want those big, heavy Goliaths like sucking up all the steam in the market. Let some of the other stuff run. Like, you got to stop twiddling your balls on the Microsofts and stuff like that. There's other fun stuff going here, and I think that's where we need to be. But you can see here, like, pretty much, like, all the indexes are looking pretty good. And just stay away from, like, so when I do my index list, I like to do a 90-day sort. Stay away from all these kind of turds on the bottom. Stick with the heaters, and that's what short-term trading is, right? We're trend traders. Let's dig into the watch list for tomorrow. I think there's all sorts of goodies here that we can, play. Dude, I think there's going to be a couple of these type of names that get caught up here that have been just sitting here. Any of these kind of stocks that have been like were hot ones and have spent the last 5-6 months consolidating, they seem to be getting picked up, right? Like something like an Oklo is always the tell. It's at $200. It came down to the 200-day moving average, and now it's up, a cool 30-40% or whatever, off its low. They're getting picked up, and, that's the one that I always use for my tell. I think this Joby gets picked up. I like it better than, ACHR, even though ACHR has a level here too. I find that this one on an intraday basis, even though it does a lot of volume, it just has a very low ATR, about 40 cents, and so it's just not like, it's not a day trader per se. It's more of a swing trader, position trading stock. Joby tends to, because it's higher priced, tends to have a little bit more range. But both of them, I'm really looking at more for swings than day trades, anyways. Because they're like the kind of ones that they pop a buck here, buck there, and when they start getting going, they get going. So I'm looking at this trend line break here, or try to pull it right onto this support here. And then we'll kind of play this thing into the 20 spot. And I do believe that we kind of see 20 fairly soon, especially with all this drone news and stuff like that. I mean, Joby's not drones, right? But like they tend to, one starts to fire and then the other one goes and the other ones go. ONDS has been a big one of recent. I think this Joby gets picked up. Beyond that, I've been posting this on Twitter nonstop, but this APLD is about to go fucking bonkers. I mean, so the trend line break was here. So it's already past like the swing trade entry. But I think you can keep day trading this thing. I think you can keep day trading this thing. The swing trade entries a couple days ago. And my thinking on this as it breaks out is really any of these dips on the hourly chart, like I want to be scooping up for the push on this one and Intel. Both of these, I think, are like in Intel, you got to do options with it. But any of these dips on the hourly charts, when it starts to look nasty, but it's still holding its structure, you want to come in and, dude, I fucked this up on Thursday. I had so many of the Intel 43 calls going out a week, and I sold them into the close. I sold them into the close on Thursday. I was cleaning up my portfolio a little bit, and that was a mistake. I'm gonna get back in this bad boy. Now on the day trading side, look, this biotechs have been hot. Medical devices, biotechs. I think this is the spot to really be in. You got this Seagon over here. Awesome range on this 12 points. I think this is like, if we get a light open on this one, let's reach into this one. Like you can see here, it looks a little bit like Figure, where you got this IP. It's like a newer company, got the IPO breakout, big volume push on this. I think for day trader, not swing trading, but for day traders, this one's right up our alley. MLTX, like these kind of names that are on the bottom here, where you're starting to get the volume push in, I think that these are like really ripe, especially in the biotech sector. I mean, this thing's got 15 million shares, volume 25 the day before, and look at the range on this, right? It's liquid. And that's what I really want to be playing. Like, I want these stocks that are going to move, and then they need to be really pushing some heat on the volume so I can get some size in them. Because this market is starting to, get frothy, right? And when it gets frothy and starts going into the frothy, you want to play that bubble part of it, right? That boiling part of it aggressively, because then you might sit in consolidation for a long period of time after that. BLDR, this one I'm actually watching more for a swinger. See how it kind of marinates over here. Had a volume pop on it, 12%. These home builders, I think, are starting to pick up some steam based on that, the Trumpster firing Powell potentially, but also this MBS news, which will he do it, not do it, we don't know, but it doesn't matter. I like that one a lot. ASTS, this one, everybody and the uncle's watching the $100 break on this thing. But so I love to see this thing just wamp out one day here, just like a ramp. And then, we'll shake and bake this thing. Kind of like when it got this downgrade a couple days ago. We were playing it the next day, and it took another day before it really speeded up. I had this thing at the open on Friday, and I think I sold my last... Like, I think I sold into this wick, and then I was just like, whoop, watching this thing, like, fuck. It's got the heat on it. A-Bat here. You got a level right here that I'm kind of looking at. A little bit of a lower price name, but I do think these kind of battery names are picking up some steam, right? EOC is another one that, I've been really watching here. Like I said, like all these names that were running like a couple months ago that spent all this time, they retrace 50%. I think they're going to start getting picked up here pretty soon. UAMI's got a spot here at the 8. It's tightening up into a little baby flag. It may need about one more day, let this 9 EMA catch up, and then I think it's going to be good to go to break that thing. EXK, finally starting to break through. My guess is silver goes bonkers in the next couple days with all this Iran stuff, and this is prime time for it. And here we got the baloney pony too, right? You got, after that nice push here, you got a nice easy 5-day long consolidation. Watch this 1760 spot. I think that's going to be a good one. And dude, my watch list is frankly a little bit bloated, but that, it's a good thing. It's supposed to be bloated probably in this market. My original one was like 27 names, something like that. So it's a little bit long in the tooth, but whatever, right? We got to do what we got to do. I think the market itself it's heating up, guys. Be aggressive when you see your spots, and do what you do. I will check in with everybody in the mañanas. I love you guys. Peace.